What if the reason people don't respect you is because you're too nice? You say yes when you want to say no. You help everyone, even when you're exhausted. You avoid conflict, even when you're hurting. And yet, people ignore you, take you for granted, and treat you like you don't matter. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Being nice isn't your strength. It might be the very thing ruining your life. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why being too nice is slowly destroying your confidence, your relationships, and your identity. Now let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with being kind. Kindness is powerful. Kindness builds connection. Kindness makes you human. But being too nice, that's something completely different. Because being too nice isn't about kindness, it's about fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being disliked. Fear of losing people. So you start saying yes to everything. You start putting everyone else first. You start ignoring your own needs. And slowly, you start losing yourself. This video isn't about becoming rude or selfish. It's about understanding the psychology behind people-pleasing and learning how to stop betraying yourself just to be accepted. 1. People-pleasing behavior at the core of being too nice is people-pleasing. You don't say yes because you want to. You say yes because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. Maybe you're scared they'll leave. Maybe you're scared they'll judge you. Maybe deep down, you feel like you're not. So you try to earn love by being agreeable, helpful, and easy to deal with. But here's the truth. You're not being nice. You're trying to be accepted. And when your entire behavior is driven by approval, you stop living your life, then start performing for others. 2. Lack of boundaries. Another major reason you become too nice is because you don't have boundaries. Or worse, you have them but you're too afraid to enforce them. You let people interrupt your time. You tolerate disrespect. You give more than you receive. And every time you say yes when you want to say no, you send a message to yourself. My needs don't matter. Over time, this destroys your self-respect. Because boundaries aren't about controlling others, they're about protecting yourself. And without them, people will take as much as you're willing to give. 3. The approval addiction. Being liked feels good. Every time someone praises you, accepts you, or depends on you, your brain rewards you. And slowly, you become addicted to that feeling. You start chasing approval, like it's oxygen. But the problem is, the more you depend on others for validation, the less control you have over your own life. Because now, your happiness is in their hands. And to keep that approval, you'll sacrifice your time, your energy, and eventually, your identity. Why being too nice ruins your life. 1. People stop respecting you. This might be hard to hear, but it's true. People don't respect someone who has no limits. When you're always available, always agreeing, always accommodating, you become predictable. And when you're predictable, you become easy to ignore. Because people naturally value what feels rare, what feels earned. So when you give everything freely, your time, your attention, your energy, it loses its value. And the harsh reality, when you're too nice, you don't look kind, you look weak. 2. You get used, not loved. When you're too nice, you don't attract healthy relationships. You attract takers, people who need constant support, but never give anything back. People who rely on your kindness, but never respect your boundaries. And at first, it feels like love. They need you. They come to you. They depend on you. But over time, you realize something painful. They don't love you for who you are. They love what you do for them. And the moment you stop giving, the connection starts fading, because it was never real to begin with. 3. You lose your identity when your life revolves around pleasing others. You stop asking yourself a very important question. What do I want? You start adjusting your opinions, changing your behavior, hiding your true feelings, just to fit in. And slowly, you forget who you really are. Your identity becomes a reflection of others' expectations. And one day, you wake up feeling empty. Not because your life is bad, but because it doesn't feel like yours anymore. 4. Hidden resentment builds up. Here's something most people don't talk about. Nice people aren't always happy. In fact, they're often full of silent anger, because every time you suppress your needs, every time you say yes when you want to say no, you build resentment. At first, it's small, but over time, it grows until one day, you explode. Or worse, you shut down completely, because deep inside, you feel unappreciated, unseen, and used. 5. You miss real opportunities. Being too nice doesn't just affect your relationships, it affects your entire life. You stay in situations you've outgrown. You avoid difficult conversations. You say yes to things that drain you, all because you don't want to disappoint others. But while you're busy keeping everyone comfortable, you're holding yourself back. You miss opportunities to grow, to lead, to become who you're meant to be. Because growth requires discomfort, and being too nice keeps you stuck. The dark truth most people ignore. Here's the truth no one tells you. The world doesn't reward people who sacrifice themselves. It rewards people who respect themselves. People don't admire someone who always agrees. They admire someone who stands firm. People don't value someone who gives everything away. They value someone who knows their worth. So when you're too nice, you're not seen as kind. You're seen as someone who doesn't value themselves. And if you don't value yourself, why should anyone else? Because at the end of the day, if you don't choose yourself, no one else will. 1. Learn to say no. This is the hardest step, but also the most important. Start small. Say no to things that drain you. Say no without over-explaining. Say no without guilt. Because no is not rejection, it's self-respect. And remember, no is a complete sentence. 2. Set clear boundaries. Decide what you will tolerate and what you won't. And once you set those boundaries, stick to them. Not everyone will like it, but the right people will respect it. Because boundaries don't push people away, they filter out the wrong ones. 3. Get comfortable with discomfort. When you stop being too nice, people will notice. Some will get upset. Some will question you. Some may even leave. Let them, because discomfort is a sign of growth. And losing people who only valued your compliance is not a loss. It's freedom. 4. Detach from approval. Not everyone has to like you, and that's okay. Because trying to be liked by everyone is the fastest way to lose yourself. Instead of asking, do they like me? Start asking, do I respect myself? That's the only validation that truly matters. 5. Prioritize yourself without guilt. Choosing yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you whole. Take care of your needs. Protect your energy. Respect your time. Because when you start valuing yourself, others will too. Being too nice doesn't make you a better person. It makes you invisible. It makes you replaceable. And worst of all, it disconnects you from who you really are. So ask yourself this. Are you truly kind? Or are you just afraid to be disliked? Because there's a big difference. Kindness comes from strength, but being too nice comes from fear. And the moment you stop acting out of fear, your entire life begins to change. If this video made you realize something, comment boundaries below. And if you're ready to stop being used and start being respected, make sure you subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about psychology, we help you take your power back. And share this video with someone who's too nice for their own good. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do is stop being too nice.